So you want to find your dream girl gang, your aligned tribe. Well, let's talk about it. How to find true friends who share the same values as you. I'm blessed to say that I have the best friends ever, but it wasn't always that way. I used to have toxic, low quality, even narcissistic friends who dragged me, my confidence, and my self-worth down, and therefore majorly affected the quality of my life. So, in today's video, I want to talk about friendships, and especially high quality friendships. I want to share everything I know so you can gain the inner power to leave your low quality friendships and find your true high quality friends, your dream girl gang, your aligned tribe. Because it's totally possible. I've done it, so you can do it too. In this video, we're gonna touch everything, every area of friendships, the hidden costs of having bad friends, red flags and green flags in friendships, and outgrowing friendships, how to make new good friendships and maintain them, what makes a high quality friendship, how to deal with jealousy in friendships, and friendship breakups, and how to deal with when your friend just randomly left you without any explanation. So I'm gonna put all the chapters here. You can check what this video will contain and navigate accordingly or watch the whole video. Chapter number 1. Why are high quality friends important and how your friends affect your success? So I don't think it's brand new news for you that your friends and the people you surround yourself with do affect the quality of your life and even how you look. If you have friends that make you feel bad, they don't support you, they make you feel insecure, they drag you down, it's going to affect you on every aspect of your life. First of all, it makes you insecure because if our friends are, let's say, constantly bullying us, or they are pinpointing us or flaws, or they just do these toxic things, it is going to affect how you feel about yourself because you think it's your fault, although it's not your fault. If you have friends who make you miserable, that is also going to affect your appearance, how you look, because those things are correlated. The way you feel about yourself and your life is also related to your friendships and people who surround you, because if your friends are constantly playing toxic games, you stress more, you worry more, and therefore it also affects your appearance. So if you want to glow up, get rid of your toxic friends. Bad friends also affect your future because if you don't have confidence in yourself, and why would you have it if your friends, your support group consists of people who don't support you, people who don't believe into your same vision, or people who think the things you want from life are weird. And most often you also don't want to stand out from your friends and be different. And if you really are much different from your friends, it's harming your development because you're afraid to stand out. So in order to not stand out from your friends, you're pushing yourself down, and that way you're harming yourself. And these things also affect your mindset. And if we talk about becoming the best versions of ourselves and living our best life, bad friends, low quality friends, are not going to give you that because they're also not going to support you in anything you want to pursue in life. And support, my dear, is very important for human beings to be supported. And the reason why I should absolutely have good friends is because socializing is crucial for people. We are social animals. We need people around us, and that's why I also think that this individualistic development in the society is actually not good for humans. We need to have friends, we need to see people, we need to go to get a coffee date with our friends. It's healthy for us, it's beneficial for mental health. So this trend focusing too much on yourself, also don't overdo it. You also need to have friends and make time for your friends and make time for socializing. It's also doing a service to you. It's also part of focusing on yourself, because it's healthy for you to be with friends. And there is a major difference in socializing with people in the real world versus socializing with your friends through like social media apps and the phone. I lately actually came across this thing. Like someone wrote somewhere that I have no motivation to go with my friends. Then I just lay on the couch and scroll on social media for 2 hours. When I read that, I was like, yeah, and then we wonder, why do we have mental health problems and why do we suffer from loneliness? Because we rather choose to sit on our couch in the evening, scroll on social media, than go to see your friends for a coffee for 2 hours. Okay, this will be completely another video topic, but really make time for your friends. Choose to see your friends rather than scroll on social media, because the effect is going to be much different. The way you feel after the coffee date with your friends is much different from how you feel after scrolling on social media, laying on the couch for 2 hours. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, chapter number 2. What is a toxic friend or low quality friend? What are the red flags? I think the simplest way to identify a bad friend in your life is if they make you feel bad. Your friend is supposed to make you feel good more often than they make you feel bad. And what I mean with feeling bad is that you feel insecure, you feel not respected, you feel not appreciated, you're left out, your friends play some toxic games with you, you're not feeling energized after interacting with your friends. That is a really big indicator. If you're feeling drained after a certain person, after you interact with them, that means that they are sucking your energy and that they're not a good friend for you. And also what I would add into this list is you don't have a certain clique. And what I mean with this is that you're like constantly disappointed with your friends. For example, if you make plans and then those plans get all the time cancelled and it seems so hard, the interaction between you is just so freaking hard. It doesn't go smoothly and just like, hey, let's do this. Yes, let's gather a group and do it, you know? Let's go for a coffee and so on. But it's constantly like, I'm canceling the plans. And if that happens all the time, I would say that that's also some kind of a substitute friendship rather than a true friendship. And it's more like just to hang out with you when there's really nothing else to do. And also what I would add in there is that if you're not excited to see your friends, if your gut feeling says it makes you feel so bad when you're going to see your friends, that means it's a red flag, red flag, red flag. Red flags all over. Please listen to them. Because in a good friendship, which we're gonna talk about more later in this video, but in conclusion, a good friendship makes you feel excited to see your friends. It makes you feel supported, accepted, and you're just so happy around these people. If you're watching Sex and the City now in the Netflix, that is a definition of freaking good friendships. So you identify the bad friend in your life, but now you're wondering how to leave them, how to get rid of these bad friends. I must say that I am not necessarily the best person to give advice on this, because the way I've ended my friendships is not necessarily the most adequate way. But if you're gonna listen to me, all I can advise you is to just fuck off. Okay, sorry, just end them. I've usually just ended my friendships without any explanation. Stop writing, stop answering, leave all the group chats, bye-bye. I don't exist for you anymore. You could also make this in a different way and just explain people that, hey, you know what, I don't want to be friends anymore, so bye. But in my opinion, especially if the case is that you are being bullied, you're being left out, you're being talked behind your back, I don't think these people need an explanation. They don't deserve your explanation. You just leave. Exit the group chats, stop answering people. I even assure you they won't even write you. And this is like in the worst case scenario. But in situations where you feel like you just don't want to be friends with someone anymore, it's not that they did you something wrong, it's just you're not vibing with them. You can also just say them that, hey, I don't want to be friends. And in my opinion, it's a better explanation than to just ghost people. It's much more decent to give someone an explanation instead of leave them wondering what happened. Don't be the person who ends a friendship without any explanation if nothing really happened. You know what I mean? Because I bet we all know how it feels, how awful it feels when someone just exits your life without any explanation, when nothing bad really happened. And with bad, I mean bullying, talking behind your back, or excluding. Okay, so you left your bad friends. What now? Because you're alone. This phase of your life, you're going to spend alone. You're going to have probably no friends. Because I've been there. I left my bad friends and I was for about 2 years, with no friends. This is the perfect time to work on yourself, to focus on yourself. And what I mean with working on yourself and focusing on yourself is to process your friendship traumas. Because you're gonna probably have those. And in addition to processing your friendship traumas, this is also a great way to set intentions. Think of what kind of person do you want to be and start working on becoming that person. For example, during those 2 years when I was with no friends, I fell in love with a lot of sporting and like nutrition and health. And although it developed into some unhealthy obsession, but this video is not about that. My grades went up. I started to focus on my health, nutrition. I started to work on my dream body. I started to develop myself, improve myself to become into a better person. I started to read more books and I just fell in love with self-development and self-improvement. I must say that those 2 years where I was working on myself, it did a lot for my future and where I am today. And most importantly, who I am today. This period of 2 years improved my confidence, my self-esteem, my self-worth. Literally, my life just started to skyrocket after I cut out all of the bad friends I had. And this is also a perfect time to reflect on what kind of friends do you want to have? What is your dream girl gang? And it is super important that you work through your friendship traumas because you want to be a good friend for your future good friends. And if you don't work through your friendship traumas, you're not going to be able to be a good friend for your future friends. I'm going to talk talk about this a little bit more later in this video. I'm going to give you examples. So yeah, basically, during this time that you left your friends and you're alone now, you're gonna work on yourself, heal your traumas, heal yourself, and become a better version of you. But as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, we need friends, we need social life. So being alone forever is also not an option. So let's talk about how to make new friends. And in this making new friends chapter, we are going to talk about how to overcome the fear of making new friends, how to make friends in a new environment, at school, at work, outside the work and school. I'm also going to say a few words about making friends in your 20s and how to approach new people, what to say. First of all, making new friends and talking to new people has this weird stigma over it that it's awkward or scary, or that other people will think you're weird, or that they don't want to talk to you or be your friend. I don't know where does this come from, but what helps is to change your perception. I'm not saying that I'm super confident with talking to new people. Nope. But it used to be much worse. And what really helped me is to just do it. Like Nike. Just do it and do it more. It's a skill just like drawing. At first, you're gonna suck, but eventually you'll become a pro. And once you start to see development and results, it kind of becomes addictive. Some people also like to refer this to a muscle. You need to slowly develop your muscles. Like for example, your glutes. When you go to gym, you don't immediately pick up 50 kilos and start making squats with 50 kilos. You start probably with 10 kilos, if with kilos at all. But after you go to the gym consistently and you consistently train, you eventually work yourself up to the 50 kilos. And this is exactly the same with the skill to learn to talk to new people and make new friends. Once you do it more, the better you become at it. Trust me, you can definitely learn to become better at making new friends. You just gotta start and not be afraid to put yourself out there. These things that we think that people don't want to talk to us, or that people will think we're weird, or that we're awkward and la, those are just things inside of our head. They're not true. People are actually much more accepting and willing to talk than you might think. But the trick with people usually is that it has to be you who makes the first move. You have to be the first one who starts talking. And this is exactly what makes this whole making new friends thing so complicated, because no one usually wants to start. And when it comes to making friends in a new environment, for example in a school or at work, I'm going to share you my personal story, which is going to change your life. So I studied in gymnasium, but when I went to that gymnasium, I knew no one. I didn't know anyone there. Whereas usually people who went to this gymnasium already like had friends from their previous school, and they were like already friend groups and they knew each other. And I came there as a completely new girl. I had no friends there. And my oh my, I was so afraid. I still remember the first day of gymnasium when we gathered all, everyone was standing in this hall and there was a lot of people, and I come there and I was really shy at that moment still. And I'm like, oh my god, it will be the worst thing ever to happen to me if I will have to stand there alone. But I had one friend at a time. She was my best friend then. No more explanations. I knew her from dancing. We became good friends through dancing. And she came from a different school than me. And she had there her friends. And I knew that these people are also going to study in this gymnasium. But I didn't know them personally. And then I remember I was to myself like, I have two options. Either be a loner during these 3 years of gymnasium, or I will overcome my fear and go talk to these people. And the option 2 sounded more tempting, I must say. Because I didn't want to spend my gymnasium years alone. So then I just overcame myself and went to talk to them. And I remember the things I repeated to myself, which is going to help you as well, is that it's going to be weird and awkward only for these first 2 weeks. But after 2 weeks, I will be accepted and no one even remembers anything anymore. So I kept repeating to myself this, that okay, it will hurt in the beginning, it will be super weird in the beginning, but it will get better. And in 2 weeks, in 1 month, in 1 year, no one even remembers this anymore. And I will have friends. So then I took all my bravery and just went to talk to them. And you know what? There's always this one girl in every friend group which is super accepting and she wants to be friends with everyone. And that is the girl, that's your person. That's the girl who's going to drag you in any friend group, okay? And all I said when I went to talk to them is so simple. So simple, you don't need to overcomplicate it. I just went and said that, hey, hello, can I be friends with you? I don't know anyone from this school. I don't have anyone here with me. Can I join you? It's not that complicated. And trust me, people are more accepting and willing to be friends than you think. Obviously, you might have to work a little bit harder in the beginning to be like really taken into that friend group and accepted into it. But if you work hard enough, you're gonna have friends and you don't have to be alone. Personally, I love making friends in new environments, in new places, because these people don't know you. This is actually a hack for people who have a social anxiety. But the thing is that you make it in your head. Everything you think of yourself is inside of your head. If you keep thinking that I'm shy, you're gonna be shy. If you keep thinking I have a social anxiety, I'm afraid to talk to new people, I'm not fun, I'm not social, people don't like me, that's what's gonna happen. And this is why I love to make new friends in new environments, because in new environments you can say yourself whatever. People don't know you. It's harder to rebrand yourself in your old environment, but rebranding yourself in a new environment is super easy. So basically you can just go to any person and be however you want to be. They don't know you. They see you for the first time. You can talk yourself out of whatever you keep telling yourself. For example, if it would be that you keep telling yourself that you are a shy person or not likable person, keep telling yourself that you are not shy person, you're a social person, and you are likable. And then go with that mindset, talk to new people, and watch the magic happen. And also, extra tip, when it comes to making new friends, I would advise, like my advice, something I failed to do and I don't regret it, but I wish I would have done it, is be friends with everyone. I believe we can be friends with many people. Especially in high school, we tend to have this thing that we are in groups, and then that's our group, and other people are threats to our group, and we don't talk with other people. I find that such a silly thing, and I never understood that in high school, that why do we have that? Why can't we just be friends with many people, with from different groups? Obviously, if you like match and vibe together. So why can't you just talk with everyone? Why does there always have to be this certain friend group who are weirdos and we don't talk with them? And then there is this popular friend group, and then these popular kids cannot talk with the weirdos. No, let's break that rule. We can talk with each other. And this will also reduce your risk of being left out or left alone. Because if you're just so attached to your one friend group and they leave you out and they don't want to be friends with you anymore, do you know how hard it will be for you to find new friends if you have been acting stupid to other friend groups and you haven't been friendly with other people? This way, you're not dependent on anyone, you'll be liked by more people, you will know more people, and you will have easier time to get around. And one more major tip is to never, ever have prejudice when making new friends. Okay, let's talk about making friends in your 20s. And FYI, I made my best friends in my 20s, so it's definitely possible. Actually, making friends in your 20s is so much more easier than in making friends in your teenager years, because people in their 20s are already grown up past this teenage phase where friendships are so ego-based. People in their 20s are actually much nicer than people in their teenager years, because we, people in our 20s, we are much more accepting, compassionate, and we already have fully developed empathy. I've had my absolute worst experiences with friendships and making new friends in my teenager years. So if you are watching this video and you are a teenager, trust me, it's going to get much better. And where can you make new friends is literally everywhere. Although school and work are great places to make friends, and the barrier to making new friends there is quite low. Like, it's easier perhaps to make new friends in school or work because you kind of have to socialize there with each other. But there are also other options to make new friends outside your school or work. In fact, I made my best friends outside school and outside work. So places where you can make new friends outside school and work are your hobbies. Also very easy place to make friends, by the way. You can also make new friends in cafes, restaurants, wherever you go out of your house and see new people, you can just start talking to people and make friends. I know that it's not socially acceptable perhaps to do that, and that you rarely see that. But believe me, it's really possible to make new friends also that way. You can also just approach people you know and you feel like you want to be friends with them or something on social media, for example. I literally met one of my best friends through kind of social media. So basically, I approached her on social media. I knew her from gymnasium, but we never talked there. One day, I just started to have this feeling that, hey, I need to be friends with this person. I don't know why did it appear, that feeling, but it just came to me like, I want to be friends with her. And then she appeared on my Instagram, like these recommendations, this like recommended profiles. Then I followed her, and obviously my feeling just started to increase. And I was for 2 weeks like doubting that, okay, should I write? Because if I it's so awkward to write something like this, that, hey, let's go grab a coffee. It's not that I'm asking her for a date like some guy. So it felt super awkward to do it. And I was doubting it for many weeks until I was just like, okay, you know what? What does it matter? She's maximum going to reject me. Like, duh, what does it matter? So I wrote her and I asked her for a coffee. And we went for a coffee. And that first coffee was weird and awkward and it was weird. But then we met again and we met again. Then we traveled together. And that's how we grew together, and we are still good friends. She also introduced me to her friends, and now we are a friend group. And then another friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, I started to be friends with in the following way. So we knew each other from childhood. Our parents were friends and we were in childhood a lot together. But then there came a big gap between like our parents seeing each other, so we also naturally lost the connection because we were from different cities. But then one day I just wrote her, I found her on Facebook, and then I just started writing her, and then we decided that hey, we're gonna make a meet someday. And then we met, and now we're every day talking with each other, we're seeing each other, and we are very good friends. So the options to make new friends are limitless. Maybe you need to think like, who are there people around you, maybe in your network, that you're willing to write and you feel like you want to be friends with, and then you just overcome all your little fears and you just write them, and you will realize that it's actually not that bad to make that first move. And when it comes to making new friends, at the end of the day, it's a lot about vibes, whether you connect with each other, whether you click. It's literally chemistry. So don't be upset if you're talking with someone and it's super awkward and weird and it's just you're just not clicking. It's fine. It just means that they're not meant for you. Get over it and find someone else. Okay, now let's move on and let's talk about what if you keep constantly attracting the wrong friends. For example, you struggle to find friends who share the same interests and values as you. For example, your friends just want to go drinking every weekend, but you are not interested in that. Or you keep attracting friends that just don't care about you, or they're just not good for you. There are so many reasons to this, so bear with me. The first reason why you might be attracting wrong friends is something I like to call the popular girl syndrome. And what it means is that you're having this need to be friends with popular people. I had it. I just needed to be around those popular people. And I call this a popular girl syndrome. And the reason why I had this, and the reason why you might also have this, if you have this, is that you are having low self-esteem and your ego is controlling you. So I was bullied. And because of bullying, my self-esteem went down. It hurt so much my ego that I needed to get my ego like satisfied and up with hanging out with popular girls. And it will be so bad that I will devalue any other friend or person that wanted to be my friend who was not popular. And I literally kept hurting myself with this because popular girls are not the best friends to have, honestly. Because it is usually in these popular friend groups where people are leaving each other out, talking behind each other's backs, low-key like bullying each other and being just super toxic to each other. And especially in these popular groups, it is not embraced to be you, the unique you. Usually everyone has to be the same, act the same way in order for you to be acceptable. So it is not acceptable to be the real you and grow into your fullest potential. Be the best you can be, you know? Deep inside of me, I knew that these are not the people who I want to be friends with. I want to be friends with just people who are supportive and they root for me and they like me the way I am. But in those groups, I had to be someone else. This was pushing me a lot down as well, although it was feeding my ego and my self-esteem that, hey, do you see me? I'm hanging out with the popular girls. I'm popular girl, so I'm worth it. It was only until I was able to heal my friendship traumas, overcome this popular girl syndrome, which I don't know if this syndrome really exists, but I like to call it the popular girl syndrome. And once I got over my popular girl syndrome, I was able to meet better people, my true friends, who I was so deeply wishing for, because I was open to meet them. Because as I mentioned to you, my current best friend, to who I just wrote and we went for a coffee, she used to go to the same gymnasium as me, but we didn't become friends then because I wasn't open to it, because I was suffering from my popular girl syndrome. Okay, the second reason why you might be attracting wrong friends into your life is because you didn't learn the lesson. Sometimes life keeps sending us the same lessons until we learn them, and sometimes the lessons are in a form of a human being, in a form of a friend or a boyfriend. But in this video, we're talking about friends. So if you catch yourself constantly in the same kind of a pattern in friendships, maybe that's the lesson you need to learn. And try to figure out what is the lesson in those friendships, what's the pattern that you have to learn. For example, I used to be a magnet to narcissistic friends. I kept constantly attracting narcissistic friends, and then I even had a narcissistic boyfriend, and only then I realized that, hey, this is a pattern. And this is what usually tends to happen. And there is a certain trait that people who attract narcissistic people in their life tend to have. And I needed to work that through. I overcame that. And I haven't had narcissistic people in my life in a long time. Moving on, the third reason why you might be attracting the wrong kind of people into your life is because you're searching in the wrong places. Maybe you're not being true to yourself. I mean, if your interests are photography, but you keep going to the sports club, who do you think you're going to be friends with? Think about it. This is a very plain example, but if you want to have friends that share the same interests as you gotta be that person as well. Go to places where these people are. The next reason why you might be attracting the wrong friends is because you're pretending to be someone you're not. Sometimes we mask ourselves to be someone else in order for other people to like us. And then we realize that, hey, I don't like where this friendship is going because I cannot be myself. You have to be brave enough to just be yourself. Just show up the way you are, and then you will attract the right people into your life who will accept you the way you are, and they will love you for it. And then one thing more when it comes to sharing the same interests with your friends is that it's also totally normal to not share the same interests with your friends and still be friends. Wow, are you shocked? Let me explain. Obviously, there has to be something that unites you as friends, which then creates the connection between you. It can be similar mindset, habits, your opinions on things, your dreams, your fashion sense, your taste in men, whatever. It can be anything that unites you and then connects you. And then when it comes to interests, what is far more important than sharing the same interests is that you're willing to show interest in your friend's interests for the sake of your friend. For example, there are certain things I do with my friends, but I wouldn't do it on my own if you ask me, but I do it for them because I know it's important for them and I care about my friends. If I think about our friend group, we're totally different people. Some of us likes to party more. Some are entrepreneurial and some are not at all. Some are having already babies and some not. But there are just certain things that just unites us and creates this strong bond in our friendship. And if you're wondering what are these things that unites you as friends and creates these strong bonds, let's talk about it next. How to form good, high quality friendships. So as I mentioned, I think that a good friendship goes beyond sharing the same interests. It's more about the bond that is created by mutual respect, trust, honesty, support, compassion, control of your own ego, genuineness, and being non-judgmental to each other, accepting each other and having the freedom to be just yourselves, and of course having something to talk about with each other. It is important that this is mutual. Friendship is not a one-way interaction. Friendship is a two-way interaction, so it has to be mutual. And then another thing that makes a friendship good and a high quality is you. First of all, you gotta understand your patterns. Second, you need to throw out your ego from the window. There is no place for ego in a true friendship. Ego is just going to destroy everything, because ego is always about if you truly want to have good friends and you want to have this mutual connection where you together respect each other and you're just good people to each other, you have to throw out your egos. Just because ego ruins everything, especially if it's a hurt one. And here's what I mean with recognizing your pattern. Now we're going to get back to this friendship traumas and why is it so important to heal your friendship traumas. I've been hurt by other people in friendships and my ego has been hurt and I have certain friendship traumas. I have identified certain patterns that I tend to have when it comes to friendships that are actually a little bit a red flag and that can ruin a good friendship just because of the ego being hurt because of previous friendship traumas. But your good friends don't deserve your friendship traumas from your previous bad friendships. So what I had is that I really couldn't take jokes from my friends, from my good friends. I would get so offended and threatened if someone made a joke about me in a good sense, you know, like just a light funny joke, which is just perfectly normal. But I couldn't take it because I felt that I am being disrespected, although I was in a completely safe space with the good people. And then another thing that was really standing in the way and messing up with my good friendships is I had previously an experience that my friends used to leave me out. That's just what in every teenager friend group just happens. People just are obsessed with leaving each other out. But obviously it hurts then. So I was so hurt by it that in my new friendships, in my lovely good friendships, friendships, I would get offended if there would be even a little bit suspicious action going on where people are like talking with each other where I am not included in those talks. I would immediately have this feeling that, oh my god, what are you doing? And I will turn like passive aggressive. So this is how your bad experiences from your previous friendships that weren't so good can affect your good friendships. So you gotta identify your patterns, your negative patterns, and work them through. Get rid of your traumas and understand that what's in the past is in the past. And sometimes it's also good to look in the mirror. For example, if you tend to have certain happenings all the time in the friendships, that certain things happen all the time, sometimes the problem can also be you because of your friendship traumas. Just saying this with love. Then another thing that forms a good, high quality friendship is the ability to talk with each other and being honest. Honesty is super important. Your best friends have to be the people who tell you honestly things. If they're not being honest with you and they sugarcoat things instead of being really honest with you, straightforward, what kind of friends are those? Who is going to be honest with you then? If you, for example, do some really weird shit and your friends are gonna be like,
yeah, it's okay, it's fine.
Just sugarcoat your actions. Wouldn't you rather want to hear from your friends, from your best friends, the truth? It doesn't mean that they're going to disrespect you. They're probably going to save you. Also, the ability to talk with each other about things, anything, without being judged. If you tend to have conflicts, because it's just a very normal to have conflict. Humans have conflicts, it's normal. But how you deal with it matters. So, okay, maybe you scream at each other first, you get really upset with each other, but how you resolve that conflict is really important. So, are you able to discuss with each other without blaming each other? Are you able to communicate with each other effectively to resolve a conflict you have? That's very important. And maintaining a friendship, a good friendship, requires some work, but it is not that complicated. Just sending a message to each other, sometimes ask, how are you doing, is already so much. Going for a coffee, seeing each other, doing fun things together. You don't have to just hang out every evening. In fact, I believe that there is much more power in seeing each other more rarely, but it is quality time that you have together rather than just hanging out every evening scrolling on your phones together in different corners. Just asking your friend, how are you? How is it going with you? Does already so much and goes a long way when it comes to maintaining a friendship. Be excited for your friends. Be happy for your friends. Show interest. That does already so much. And also, I think something that is important to clear out is that the amount you talk and socialize with your friend doesn't define the quality of your friendship, okay? You can still be good friends and talk rarely, but when you see each other and when you talk, it's like such a best thing ever happened to you. Or you can talk every day and be like, when you see each other, the time you spend with each other is just like meh. So the amount you socialize with each other doesn't define the quality of your friendship. You don't need to text every day. You don't need to call every day. You don't need to see every day in order for the friendship to be high quality. But how you are with each other when you see each other, do you support each other? Your connection, the vibes. Are you interested in each other? Those are the things that really matter. And it's also fine to have friends for different reasons, and that's okay. You can have your core best friends, but you can also have friends with who you are going to just have fun, but you could never ask them for support or help. Same way with your colleagues. It doesn't mean that you're friends, but you still talk and eat lunch together every day. Then let's talk about how to deal with jealousy in friendships. Basically, here is two things. There's a difference between jealousy that is rather an exception than the rule versus when the jealousy is the rule rather than the exception. So what I mean with this is that there are two types of people. Those friends who are just constantly jealous of everything you do, and this is just a jealous type of friend, which I would categorize as a low quality friend, a toxic friend that you rather don't want to have around. Because whatever you do, if you do better than them, they will never be able to be happy for you. And why would you want to have such person in your life? Then now let's talk about when the jealousy is rather the exception than the rule. It's actually quite normal that sometimes there can occur jealousy in your even good friendships, in your high quality friendships as well. And this is where I now mean when I'm talking about that understanding is important in friendships. That is like one of the core pillars of good friendships is the understanding. So if you catch your friend being jealous of you because of certain reason, ask yourself, why could this be happening? And very often you will find that the reason is because your friend is currently in a low moment of her life, for example. she's not, for example, happy with her life in a current moment, things are going wrong for her, things are not working out for her, there's some kind of a crisis in her life. And here where you can be an accepting friend is that understand is that this phase is going to go away, it's going to pass. Once she's going to get back on her feet, the jealousy will disappear. Because it's actually a very normal response to sometimes be like jealous of each other, like, yeah, everything is going so great for her, but for me, no. But it doesn't mean that she wants bad things for you. There can be a low moment in everyone's life where you can find yourself to be leaning towards toxic behavior accidentally, but it doesn't mean she's a bad friend forever. So I would advise in such situations, like, look at it, how is it going, and try to be supportive of your friend. If you feel like you're not having the support you want from your friend in the good moments of your life, then you can talk about it. Because sometimes you can have this situation where everything is going super good for you and everything is going super bad for your friend, so you're in a totally different places in your lives. So in these situations, talking will do the work. And quickly, I want to say a few words about outgrowing friends. My opinion is a little bit controversial with this because a lot of people are saying this thing that outgrowing friends is a thing. It's normal, and yes, it's normal. But I feel like people leave their friends a little bit too easy. So let's talk about it. We grow and develop as humans all the time, and sometimes there can happen that you develop really much different from your friend group. And that's all super normal. But then there can happen this thing that you feel that your friends don't understand you anymore, and then we start to talk about this, I'm outgrowing my friends, so I should quit being friends with them because they don't understand me anymore. But actually, I think different from that. You should end those friendships only after you have tried this first. We humans resist change, it comes naturally to us. When there is change happening, we don't like it. And if our best friend starts to change from what we're used to see her, obviously we're gonna make a problem out of it. But the way you respond to that problem matters, whether that friendship is going to continue. So what you should try before ending that friendship is to try to explain your friend that, hey, it seems that we're having a problem here because we're developing into different directions. But you know what? This is the new me. This is who I am, and this is who I want to be. If you explain this to your friend, and after a few attempts of resistance, because she's still going to probably resist a few times before she accepts it, and then if she accepts the new you, your friendship is going to evolve to a completely new level. Whereas if you just give up on each other immediately without any explanation and talking it through, your friendship is just gonna plainly end. And it can actually be a pity thing. So before outgrowing your friends, try to explain the new you to your friends. And then if they still resist it after like a while, then you can consider ending that friendship, because then it's basically just not serving the future you and the new version of you. Believe me, in most cases, it's actually worth to explain your friend that, hey, this is who I want to be and this is where I'm going. So are you supporting me or not? Okay, and then let's talk about a random friendship breakup where the person, your friend, just leaves your life without any explanation, although everything was going just fine, you were just good friends, and then she just decides to leave without any explanation, like ends the friendship. What the hell? This is one of the hardest way for a friendship to end, because naturally you're asking questions. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Why? And this person is not giving you the answers. And it hurts you because you thought you were good friends and you have so many memories together. You have so many nice experiences together, and you've also made plans together for your future. And then just suddenly this person just decides to exit your life silently without any explanation. How can she do that? How can person be so cold and just throw everything away? And you're probably wondering, did your friendship even matter to them? And this is why I say that you need to give people explanations. If you want to end a friendship, give people explanations, please. You're going to save the other person from a lot of questions and pain. So be a decent human being and give them explanation. But in these situations, when this happens, honestly, the only way to deal with this is to just suck it up and move on. That's the only way. I don't recommend crawling back and begging them to give you an explanation and beg them to be your friends. Because if a person decides to live your life like that, they're not worth it. They're not worth of your time. Because to end a friendship like that is a freaking crappy thing to do. Just realize it. It just means that the person wants to avoid a complicated discussion. So if after your friendship, a person wants to avoid a complicated discussion, go fuck yourself, is all I can say. Sorry for my language, but if you're not new to my channel, you know, I tend to use this kind of language. And I know what I'm talking about because these things have happened to me so many times. So many times people just left me. People are gonna do these things. So the only way you can survive this life is to develop a thick skin to these things and understand that people are gonna do weird stuff. And if someone decides to live your life like that without explanation after a good friendship, then let them go. Bye bye. Have a good life. Learn to give 0 Fs. They don't deserve your energy. Don't waste your energy on mourning these kind of things. Just suck it up and move on. Because I want you to know that if someone lives your life like that, it's not about you, it's about them, okay? There is just something in you that they couldn't handle because it was just way too good. And with these words, I want to bring this video to an ending, and I would appreciate it so much if you give this video a thumbs up because it will support me and growing this YouTube channel a lot. And if you feel like you're vibing with me and my content, then please consider also subscribing to my channel as well. And I love to hear your comments and what you think of this video and whether it helped you. Maybe you also have tips to share. So share it all in the comments below because I love to read your comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.